Just a pre-video disclaimer, I know I made this super late, just bear with me on this one. Also, I know this is going to be super long and a massive pain to edit, so it would be absolutely legendary if we could smash 5 likes on this video. Now, on to the video. On March 3rd, 2017, Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch, a hybrid console which allowed you to play in the comfort of your home and on the go. It launched to positive reviews all around. However, it had one flaw. It was the launch titles. They were decent, but not system sellers. In come The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This wasn't just any Legend of Zelda game. This game made you truly immersed into the experience with so much replay value. I remember I got it on Christmas in 2017. It is now March of 2019 and I still play it non-stop. According to my Nintendo Switch, I have at least 185 hours of total playtime. With this game now being 2 years old, I thought it would only be right to review it in retrospect, seeing how it won Game of the Year. Now, rise all gamers and let's review The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The plot of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is among something that we've never seen in any other previous Zelda games. For those of you who don't know the plot, here's a quick summary. By the way, if you already know the plot, you can skip to this point in the video to continue. You wake up from a 100-year sleep as Link, with no memories. You then proceed to grab a Sheikah Slate, which is your life in this game. It holds your map and runes that are used in order to complete the game's many obstacles. You then enter the Great Plateau, the tutorial section if you will. An old man tells you that you must complete 4 shrines on the plateau and he will then give you a paraglider. Then 15 towers appear. They are for expanding your map throughout Hyrule. You are then told about the Great Calamity which decimated Hyrule 100 years before, and then told of 4 Zords called Divine Beasts. They're giant robots built by the Sheikah tribe to help defeat the menacing Calamity Ganon. 100 years prior to the events of the game, Princess Zelda appointed 5 champions to control the Divine Beasts. Revali of the Rito, Mipha of the Zora, Daruk of the Gorons, and Rabosa of the Gerudo. And finally Link, Zelda's personal knight. Your task is to defeat the dungeon-like structures inside of the Divine Beast and beat bosses known as Blight Ganons to take control of them. Controlling all will net you abilities that will help you along your journey. You then make your way towards Hyrule Castle for the final face-off with Calamity Ganon. The Divine Beast will aid you. Once you defeat Calamity Ganon, you are brought upon Dark Beast Ganon, and Zelda bestows upon you the light arrows to help you defeat them. Alright, that's kind of it. If you want to know the plot more in depth, I will leave a link to the plot in the description. It's probably going to be Wikipedia, but whatever. In this game, you have main quests, shrine quests, and side quests. On one main quest, you must go to Kakariko Village and visit the Sheikah Elder Impa. She will tell you that you have to recall 12 memories, and you must visit locations based on pictures she gives you. Recall 1 memory and recall back to the village, and she will reward you with the Champion's Tunic which Link wore 100 years before the start of the game. This may be a bit of a spoiler, but she actually tells you there's a 13th memory, and that memory shows the final battle before Link was almost mortally wounded, and the Zelda told 2 Sheikah warriors to take him to the Shrine of Resurrection. I should have probably mentioned this part earlier, but there are 120 shrines, basically mini dungeons, spread all throughout the map. Completing these shrines rewards you with shrine orbs, which allows you to trade in 4 orbs for heart containers and extra stamina wheels. This leaned away from most Zelda games, just finding heart containers in many random different places. Once you completed all of these shrines, you will hear a voice telling you to visit the Forgotten Temple in the Depantha Ridge. In there is another shrine which is a blessing. Behind said shrine are 3 chests containing a tunic, cap, and trousers of the wild. This is different from most games because you only got to wear 1 green tunic in most games, but in this game, you have a ridiculous amount of armor and clothing to wear and upgrade. In the game, you come across Koroks, mini tree people. You come across a giant Korok named Hetsu in the beginning of the game, which tells you her Korok friends are playing hide and seek and tasks you to find all of these. Sounds simple enough until you realize there, wait for this one, 900 Korok seeds. Korok seeds essentially upgrade the amount of slots you can have in your inventory. However, when you find them all, you end up with 400 something, and once you get them all, you get a literal piece of golden crap. Let that sink in for a bit. Alright, so on top of that, Nintendo decided the game wasn't complete enough and decided to make 2 different paid DLCs. The Master Trials and the Champions Ballad. In the Master Trials, you got a bunch of different clothing, some new side quests, and you also got a Korok mask, which shook whenever you were near a Korok seed. And on top of that, you got something called the Trial of the Sword. Essentially, there are 3 trials with multiple floors of enemies. This would help buff your Master Sword because it really isn't that powerful in the game. Once you complete the Master Trials, your Master Sword will be at a power of 60 and take up to roughly 180 hits before it could run out of energy. Then it would refresh after 10 minutes. In the Champions Ballad, you had even more clothing and more side quests, but the main attraction here is the Champions Ballad main quest. You start off returning to the Shrine of Resurrection after you have completed all 4 Divine Beasts, and you obtain the one-hit Obliterator, a weapon that can take out enemies with 1 hit but also does the same for you. You must conquer 3 shrines on the Great Plateau protected by enemies. Once you finish that, the weapon breaks and creates a new shrine portal things. Alright. That contain locations on the map where you would find more shrines. Completing all these shrines gives you the opportunity to do the Blight Ganon boss battles again. Winning would decrease the amount of time needed to recharge your champion's abilities. Once you finish them all, you go back to the Shrine of Resurrection and complete a 5th Divine Beast. Once you finish, you will enter a boss battle with Monk Mazkoshia. Defeating the monk would bestow upon you the Master Cycle, a motorcycle that runs on materials for fuel. Completing these quests and DLCs fills you with a sense of accomplishment, and it makes you feel good about yourself, and you feel closer to achieving the end goal of 100% completion. Although I have yet to achieve 100%, you still feel great about yourself and sensing achieving something greater. Gameplay is something that every Zelda game must master in order for it to be a memorable Zelda game. Well, I think Breath of the Wild does that perfectly. It has a perfect mix of intense action and subtle adventuring. Throughout Link's adventures, he has had his trusty horse Epona. This game goes away with that and allows you to go through the vast area of Hyrule and get your own horse. However, Epona can be collected through amiibos. This works excellently because you are not bound to one horse with the same traits all the time. You can experiment to see which horses best fit your style. You can even give it a name and change its saddle, bridle, and mane style. Adding this to the game gives a sense of fresh air that hasn't been in Zelda games for a long time. The Legend of Zelda series pioneered the aspect of combat and defense ever since the original NES and set the standard for combat in games. The original game just set the stage for basically every action-adventure game ever. Breath of the Wild has added in some new things that will help you in your adventure, such as the perfect parry. It's a defense maneuver that if you hold your shield up and deflect a hit at the right time, you can temporarily stun your enemy, giving you a window of attack. And on top of that, you can actually surf under your shield. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can do this on virtually any surface in the game, but I recommend doing it most on the Hebra Mountains, as there is a dedicated section where you can ride from the peak all the way to the foot of the mountain. Attacking wise, the target system has never been better. The camera is perfect and you can move with it as you wish, as you can lock onto essentially anything in the game. With the addition of the paraglider, Link can glide and enter a slow motion area thing so Link can shoot his arrows. However, it depletes a lot of your stamina, so use it wisely. This game is great and all, but it comes down to 2 things that I really don't like. I'll get on to the second one later, but the first one is weapon durability. Every weapon in the game is breakable, with the exception of the Master Sword, which after enough uses has to recharge for 10 minutes. This can be really annoying, especially once you start out the game. However, some weapons like the Royal Guard's weapons have the worst durability in the game, with the likes of the Tree Branch. The Royal Guard sword does 48 damage, however you can probably land less than 20 hits before it breaks. On the exploring side of things, that's when the real game comes in. Once you leave the Great Plateau, you are free to explore the enormous map as you choose. You can even go straight to Hyrule Castle and defeat Ganon from the start. You can climb virtually any surface with one great exception. the new implementation of weather changes, it rains, and you can't climb when it rains. This is extremely inconvenient, especially since the entire Zora's Domain questline is raining, and you have to make it to the top of Ploymus Mountain. If you don't know how to do it, of course, and since I'm dumb, I didn't properly know how to do it, and it took me 2 hours when it should have taken me 5 minutes. And on top of that, there is lightning. Yeah, just make sure if there is lightning, take off any metal or just equip the Thunder Helm so you don't get affected by electricity. In the end, this game is a powerhouse when it comes to gameplay. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has cemented itself as a classic for years, and there's no surprise given that it won Game of the Year back in 2017. It's made even better due to the Switch's portability, making you able to play whenever you want. I don't lie when I say this, but this game is truly one of the best gaming experiences I've had in a long time. I think most of you can say that as well. This game is truly something remarkable. Now that all of us gamers have risen and been enlightened by my absolute garbage reviewing skills, it's time for me to introduce the brand new, the Martini Seal of Approval, and give this rating a 9.3 out of 10. So yeah guys, that's the end of my review. I really hope you guys like this one because I really did put a lot of effort into this one. My script is freaking 8 pages long. Let me know if you guys want to see more reviews like this one in the future. So on that note, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks for watching. Can we smash 5 likes on this video, please? It's been your boy Martini Panini, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
I am the king, I am the king.